Good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week. I'm going to wait maybe about 30 more seconds for folks if they need to log on. I hope you're having a great day. And wasn't that a great day yesterday with different sessions and then ending the day with the new director of MACAE, Latoya Newson. She was sharing her vision and really kind of just her story of coming into adult education. And so if you didn't have a chance to join us yesterday for any of the sessions or Director Newson's session, we'll be sending the links out and you can watch those and be inspired and learn more. But I want to welcome you to our Canva presentation today. So I'm very hopeful that you're able to kind of take today and use it how you will. I'm going to give you a few strategies, but certainly use this in the way that you feel is most useful for you. What I'm going to do is put into the link, into the chat, excuse me, a link to Canva itself. And I would really encourage you, if you have time or if you're in space to really start this, I want to have this obviously be a learning session, but if you want to create an account and follow along and build something out on your own and test it out while we're doing it, and you feel comfortable doing that, I would encourage you to do that. So I will get started here, and I put the link into the Canva, or put the link to Canva into the chat for you. If you'd like to go on to that and explore that, you can choose to create a new account, or you can choose to link it to your existing account. I just have it a link to my work account, if that's something like you do, and we'll walk through that in a second. But I wanted to just give you a little bit of background about today's presentation. I would also be a little remiss if I didn't go through my little spiel about the Institute and remind you of a couple of things. So we'll be sending out the sketch link to you. So if you need sketches, that will be coming out probably about midday today. We just need one form for all of the sessions that you attended. So one form, one person, just like one vote, one person. And we'll just get that out. And all of the sessions available. Just make sure everyone's muted. All of the session materials and recordings will be available to you probably next week by the time we are able to get everybody's materials and upload those, so you have access to that. And I think that is it on my end for announcements, but thank you for joining us today for creating your programs report using Canva. I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit about Canva as a tool first, and then we'll actually get into the platform itself. So really, I think why we're here is many of us are interested in creating content or creating artistic expressions of our programs or statistical things of our program, but it's really painstakingly hard to do when you have limited time or limited resources, or in my case, limited creativity. So why not lean into artificial intelligence or a tool that's out there called Canva to be able to help us kind of bridge some of those gap areas. And I know that all of us are dedicated, whether we're in a teacher role, a director role, an administrator role, a support staff role. We want to create beautiful things. We want to, have flyers. We want to do spotlights. Maybe we have a report. Maybe we need to post on social media. This is an awesome tool that you can use. It's free. There is a professional version, which we'll talk about. But you can do so much with this one tool. And I really think, I want folks to know about it. If you're already using it, that's awesome. And maybe you already know some tips and tricks too that we can share out together. So some of the ways that you can use Canva just really in our work especially would be, you can use it for social media postings. I know that that's something that people are always looking at is, Patrick, what are the things that I can share on social media? How do I share those types of things? I have, I want to kind of make it, a little bit more special or things like that I would share out. You could also compose a year-end report, which I know is something that as we come to the end of the year is important for reporting out to school boards, or reporting out to your board of directors, or if you have a graduation or special event coming up, it's nice to kind of capture and catalog where you're at in the year. There's templates already there. Remember the old publisher days when we had to go back and do it in Publisher or do it in Word? No more. Canva makes it way easier and a lot more effective and really a little bit more artistic and beautiful. If I ever see a flyer again from Word with that little multicolored wave in it, which is like, I think the standard for all of us at one point when we used it, if you know what I'm talking about, you probably use it as like a little wave and a little star because it's like, was the most creative, one. I think everybody's had a flyer of that. So let's leave the little wave and the little star behind on Word and lean into Canva and some of the creative things that we can do there. You could also do a student spotlight, which I know is something that a lot of programs are looking to do, not only for maybe a bulletin board in your program, in your area, physically on a wall, but also on your social media pages. Or also graduation, sending out a postcard or even the program for your graduation. You could design it in here and then send it out to a printer or send it out to Staples to get printed or print it on your own. So there's just lots of free tools to think about using in different ways. And the templates are already there for you and you can kind of fish around for what you'd like and not have to be stuck with the Word wavy design. Does anyone know what I'm talking about when I mentioned that little Word wave design? If I can find it, I'll pull it up and show you, and you all will be reminded of the good old days of using Word to help us. So the best thing that you can do is get started at canva.com. I'm going to put the link. Yes, Jen put yes in the chat. I do remember. If I can find it, EO, I'll show it to you because you'll be like, oh, yes, I saw many flyer with that on that. So I'm going to put the link in the chat to the Canva to create a login. I'll go there in a second. This is really the last kind of formal slide before we get into Canva, the website itself. But you can sign up for free. So you could you could create your own account using your personal email. You could use your work email. I have it linked so that every time I log into Canva, it just links to my work email. And so it's linked pretty much simultaneously, so I don't have to log in each time. It really is a site for content creation. So they have the platforms, they have the tools. If you know that you want to tell a story, whether that's in some of the examples that we mentioned before, this would be a place to do it. What's also convenient is that you can download all of those files into multiple versions or multiple formats. So if you're looking for an image, if you're looking to make it into a PDF for a flyer to print out, there's lots of different formats that you can download that into that make it really multi-dimensional and multimodal so that you can use it in different ways. And some of you who are very tech savvy will appreciate that. And some of you who maybe are still on the verge of becoming tech savvy will also appreciate that, because sometimes it's, it's like, oh, I have this really awesome thing and I want to get it over here, but it's in a different file format. You can manipulate it and do different things. There is a pro version. It costs about $150 annually. What it does is unlock like thousands more designs. So if you are really into graphic designs and really into different formats and texts and colors and color palettes, that would be really, it's really not that much when you think about an annual subscription. That would be worth it. But what's also nice and convenient is that it allows for you to download your project into an SVG, which is essentially a step above and beyond a JPEG, where you can have it downloaded as an image, but you can manipulate the size of the image. So sometimes when you have an image on the internet and you try to blow it up, it becomes blurry. With the SVG, it will not, because it really really can transfer dimensions. And so that was something that was very convenient when we were working for the fall conference. And if you saw the conference logo that we made it. And then when we tried to blow it up, it became blurry. And so when we were working with our graphic designer on it, she was like, hey, why don't you do it in SVG? And you can make it as big as you want. You can make it as big as a billboard. It won't mess with the size. You can make it as small as a little tiny ant and won't mess with the size dimensions either. So if that's something that you're looking for, if you're maybe trying to do like a banner or a big one of those kind of pull-up posters for your program or graduation, that would be a template that would be convenient for you and just something for you to look at. So yeah, Whitney, it's free. The whole, I mean, you can, I had a free account for like 2 years before this year was the first year that I purchased the pro account. So in the free account, you still have, you know, it's not a trial. You know, I hate that when they have you sign up and, oh, you get to see all these things. And then a week later, everything locks, you don't have access to anything. No, there really are a lot of free content pieces. And I think especially for what we're all trying to do, the free is a great place to start. And there's still a lot of design templates that are available within the free version itself. And like I said, yeah, it has tools, sharing content, lots of other information like that. So let's go in and let me see if you can just put in the chat or some sort of an emoji or something. How many of us have signed up for a Canva account already? Hopefully by the end, we'll get more people to sign up. Has anyone signed up yet? No one has signed up yet that I'm seeing. Okay, a couple people here. Yes. Great. You signed up. All right. So if you haven't signed up, I really would encourage you and put the link back into the chat. I know we always say, you know, we go to these kind of conferences and then we say, yep, I'm going to do it. And then we don't because time gets away from us. Let's use this as a time to do that right now. It will take a couple of seconds and we'll be able to do that. So let me go into, I'm already in Canva. So I pulled one over on you. So you can actually do PowerPoint presentations in Canva itself. So I'm in Canva itself and was able to create this short little PowerPoint and use presentation mode. So if you're looking for other designs beyond the standard ones, also again in PowerPoint, right? If I see that the little triangle one on the side, you know what I'm talking about? I have used that in every color palette I think possible for every for PowerPoint presentation. This offers a little bit more design capabilities for you if you're looking for other things. So let me go back here and show you. So this was the login page. Encourage you to go through that and to sign up if you're available. Kelly said their district has an account for them, which is awesome. So I'm just going to kind of show you a couple of the features, and then we're actually, if you're up for it, we're going to design something together, right? So this is kind of the landing page or the home page, and I would say that this is both overwhelming but also exciting because there's lots of different content project creational things available within this platform. So let's just kind of go over the basics. It's pretty self-explanatory, but on the left is your home page where everything is located, you know, your landing page, if you will. On the left is also your projects page over here. So any projects that you have ongoing and that you've started or you're working on, they're saved there. So that is another convenient thing, is that sometimes we always start something and I don't know how many times I've written something on Word or PowerPoint and then I probably forgot to save it. And then it seems like it's lost forever. This automatically will save it for you. So even if you decided that you didn't like it anymore, it'll be in there and you can choose to delete it. Or if you close out or something happens, you got to slam your computer shut, it's going to be in there for you and it will automatically save, which is convenient because sometimes we do a lot of work on things and then we lose it in the great world of technology. It also lists all the templates on the left-hand side, and we'll go into that in a second. And then this brand hub is a pro version. Anything that's a pro version is denoted by this crown. So if you have a free version, as you go through the different templates and things, as you scroll like further down, it will have templates that are essentially locked because they say pro. So anytime you see a little crown on it, I always feel like, you know, I'm King Charles or Camilla or something like that. I'm like, oh, I have access to this special version. But like I said, lots of the free versions are just as beautiful and just as nice as those. So also on the homepage is you can just search. So anything that you're looking for, you want to plug in a word. you can just search for that right there if you're just thinking about an idea, but it also will prompt you with different suggestions of things that you might like to do. It'll also make recommendations. Artificial intelligence, I'm telling you, it's a little scary, but it's also convenient. It'll make suggestions for things that maybe you most readily work on or would like to work on. And then it will also store your recent designs. So these are different things that I've worked on or been pulling together over the last little while, or I've opened and abandoned. These are different projects that it will keep for you over that time. So let's look at a couple of things here. What is something, we're going to work on a project together, but what is something that probably is most, are you looking to utilize this for? If you could put that into the chat, that would be helpful. What is a producible project, whether it's a flyer or a newsletter or social media post? Which of those is maybe like what you're looking for? Brochure, flyer, handbook, newsletter, graduation brochure. Great. Newsletter, brochure, flyers, and brochures. Awesome. That's great. So let's just take a look at a few of the flyer examples and then we can work through those together. And this is really meant to be a working. So if you've got questions, you can put them in the chat, but also unmute too, because I most times hate the sound of my own voice. So I always like to, those of you that know me know that I appreciate conversation and dialogue as well. So I am going to just do this. Great. All right. So I clicked on, if you're following along, you please play around with this. Do this on your own if you want to follow along with what we're doing as well. But I'm just going to click on the flyer page, and it already subscribes like some templates that are available. So you could certainly look for a template that is eye appealing to you. What's cool or what's nice to think about is that you can change, you're not stuck to that color palette or really that theme. So even though it gives you that, you could change it. Like, you know, I really don't want to do this benefits of volunteering with the John Deere green. You could choose to change the template up a little bit. So I am just going to choose this this template, and I'm wondering if we could convert this into a here are our classes. I don't want to do the cleaning one. Some of them are a little bit better than others. Let's just go back to that one. So we're going to do a brochure for our program, and we're going to do maybe we have 4-level classes in our program or whatever. So on the left-hand side here, you've got all different elements, which means that you can change the shapes. You can do different graphics. You could, if you didn't like some of these graphic images that are in here, you can replace them. You could insert a video, and we'll talk about that in terms of social media. You can also upload your own photos. So maybe you have pictures from your own students. You'll see some familiar faces here from our fall conference where I had to upload different photos and pictures. You could update or upload your logo, obviously, which would be important, or your school district's logo. You can also, on the left-hand side, change the text. You could make it a more of a fun text here, graphic. You could also, much like on, you know, different, I mean, really any project-based platform, you could choose to have the text be smaller or have a heading text. And obviously you can choose the text size. We'll show that in a minute. You could draw something on there if you want to. So you could annotate and share that among the team, which is important. And we'll show you how to do that in a second. But let's do this. And I need a volunteer for, does someone have a 4-level program? Does anyone have 4 levels in their program for classes? Or 4 classes or 4 levels, just because it's 4 is right there.
Yes.
What about, oh, go ahead.
High
Who
school
got there
completion.
first?
Yeah, high school completion, English
Okay.
as a second language.
Okay, we're gonna do high school completion. All right, Kelly, what else?
English as a second language.
All right. I could spell second language, that'd be helpful. All right.
High school equivalency, or
Okay.
I guess that could fall under high school completion, but, and then certified nurse aid training.
Okay, great. So, yeah, you can edit these. I will say the one maybe downside of the writing in the text is that each one of these text pieces, so like the title here and the body here, they're separate. And so that if you've got a big like report or something like that, that could be a little tedious because you got to click on the actual thing, right? You got to type it, you got to edit it. You can move each of these boxes around though, which is very convenient. So maybe you wanted, oh, I'm gonna put it over here, be a little out of the, the line up there. You could, change the color text. You could put a link onto the particular thing. So it has its many benefits, but also just be careful because sometimes when you're typing or you move something, maybe you move something on accident and you want to, you didn't want to do that. All right, so high school completion. Do we like this graphic or would we like to change something else from the graphic? Maybe there's a better element.
Let's change it up.
All right. What about how about this one? Is this one a better graphic? It's kind of, now this is a pro version one, so I'll just blow it up for you. If that's something that kind of teachery. I don't know. He looked like he's got a key on it. I don't know if that's
Just pick anything.
all right. Now I gotta put it in here. Great. Okay, now it's in there. So high school completion, the keys to success. We'll go back and change that in a second. Whoops. Oh, and oh my gosh, I accidentally went back and so I've lost my document. Well, it's right here, your recent design. So anytime that you have opened a design or started a design, it'll always be on your recents and it's saved. So if you have to go back or you close the website or anything like that, it's always saved for you, which is super convenient because I have a tendency to have 12,000 things open and then I of course close the most essential one that I'm looking for. So Kelly, remind me, what is your program? Huron Valley. You have a logo? Can you send me your logo, Kelly? Do you have a logo that you could send me? We're gonna get rid of that too. Do you have a picture that you could send me as well? I may have a picture of your students, but I could also go onto Facebook and download a picture from there. And this is not something that we're stuck with. This is just something that in the moment we're making up. And I would encourage you to kind of think through, what, if you would like it. Yeah, so Joel, do you want to talk about that lock button? That's a great tool or tip.
So up in the toolbar there, next to the one that looks like the paint roller, there's that little lock icon. If you click that, then whatever you have selected, you can't move it accidentally or delete it or anything like that. So if you've got a whole bunch of stuff on it, like Patrick said, then you can't accidentally move the wrong thing if you're trying to shuffle stuff around.
And that is super convenient because one of the other things that you can do is share your project with someone else. And so you could share it as a team, just like you would as a shared document. I know we all have a love-hate relationship with Google Drives and Microsoft Teams and those kinds of things, but you could lock it and just have someone look at it. So they don't have access to change anything. They just get to look at it. And that is convenient because sometimes we just want somebody to say, does this look good? Give me a little feedback, but not necessarily have the control to edit our whole lives. So not saying anybody on this particular call, but sometimes people get a little click happy and decide they want to change things. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I wasn't asking for that. So, all right. So we got high school completion, English as a second language, high school equivalent, certified nurse aid assistant. So again, you can choose to use this how you will. For Kelly's purposes, we'll, put something fun in here and we'll put a logo in here if she has a chance.
Yep, I did. I sent it. Check your email.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Let's refresh. You can all see my lovely emails here. So if I haven't responded, apologies for that. Okay, well, this is where we count to 10. The tech guy once told me, if you count to 10, everything will be fine. Well, he also said, if you count to 10, turn the power off and unplug it and plug it back in, then it will work again. And sometimes I don't know if that's true advice or not. But that's usually my solution is walk away for 10 seconds. All right, we'll come back to that. All right, let's go. So here's back to our design. So the design is still a work in progress. So if you were to leave right now and close out, it would be safe for you. We've already talked about that. But I wanted to show you a couple of things. So we could also share this project. You could share it right with someone else. So I'm actually going to share it with Kelly.
All right, check your email again when you're ready. I sent it again.
What is your email? Can you remind me, Kelly?
Kelly.vella
At
HVS.
HVS.org.
Yes.
All right, and I'm going to give Kelly edit her privileges just because it's for her. But like I said, you could also do can't comment or can't view. So let's say you were also working with someone who maybe wasn't tech savvy but also loves to click. You could just say can comment or can view, and they could just have that access limited privileges. Maybe it's a director that you're doing all your work for that you don't really want to mess up what you have, but you need his or her approval. Just throwing out ideas here. So I'm going to send that to Kelly so she's got access to that. All right, the other thing that you can do is you could also copy the link and just send an email. I mean, it works really both ways, but that's, just like you would on a Google Share Drive. And see, now I see that Kelly is in there and she has access. So now Kelly can work on that project too. And you really could build across your whole team if you wanted to. Get on multiple people. Hey, we got to put this together for our program or for our graduation, or I need you to go into this page and update your information on this page so that we could do it and get it taken care of. You could also.
And I can see. I'm sorry. I was gonna say I can see that you're on there too.
You could also present this, so you can at any time you can down here in the bottom right hand corner, it's present full screen, so you can always look at it. Sometimes that's nice to kind of take a step back and see what will actually look like when it's finished. Does everything look where I want it to be, lined up in place, so that the dimensions look good and that everything's there. But the other thing I wanted to show you was when you download this. So this is available on the internet. You can choose to build it and use it. When you download, you have several different options. You have the JPEG, a PNG, you could do a PDF. This is the SVG that I was talking about. It has the crown, so you can tell that that is the pro version. So it wouldn't be included in a freeze version. But this is nice because after the flyer is done, you could print it right out from your computer and make 50 copies of whatever it is in-house. Or if you needed to save it and you have a print shop that you send it to, or you want to send it to Staples, or you have an in-house district that prints things or whatever. Hey, here's what we need. I need this many copies of it. you could send it to them that way. So that's convenient. I use that quite readily because you can just download it right from the site and to be able to do that. But the really awesome thing is that you can send this information also directly to social media. So you can link your social media sites. So for example, I have our MACAE Instagram, our Facebook page, and our Twitter page. And you can share out any content that you've created onto your social media. So I know sometimes we're always, making different things, or it's hard sometimes when you create, let's say you create your class schedule as a PDF, right? Because you want it to print, but then you also want to post it on your Facebook or your Instagram, your social media, but you don't have an image, right? Because you can't necessarily upload a document. So this is convenient because you can create it here. You could download it as a PDF for printable purposes, but then you could also share it onto social media and not have to do the whole file conversion and worry about all of those things. So I utilize it in that way. I really like it in that way because I can create things that are meant to be printed or meant to be shared, but also can be used in our social media. So it's almost like I don't have to do twice the work of having to do that. So those are kinds of a benefit of that. I'm just going to walk you through what it could look like on social media, and then I see your question, Joel. So here we're linked to my social media. I could write something along with it and publish it. Now yours is going to look a little bit different because I have the pro version. So you could select, if let's say you manage multiple pages. So my Facebook is also changing, and this could be a whole other, session on social media and how to use it. But my personal profile is linked with the MACAE, so I can flip back and forth easily on my phone between the two. Yours may be that you created a separate login between your personal and your adult ed or alternative community ed Facebook page. So you may look a little different for you and what you are able to allow the options for, especially if you're logged in to your personal one, but you have a separate login for your business one. Mine are just the same login. I can just flip back and forth between the two pages though. So that might be something, if you created Facebook a long time ago, I think I created my Facebook like in 2008 or 9 when it was coming out. I know some people just don't want their personal and their professional on the same thing. As much as they love adult ed, they don't really want to see graduation pictures on the weekend. So they kind of keep those two separate. But anyway, I could publish it right there and put in what I would like to say, and then it would publish with this kind of final document, as well as any description that I have available. So that's really convenient. All right, Stacy, what is your question? Are there problems if you have the pro version and a team member editor does not? You're asking great question. So the pro version is for your account. So you're able to add up, I believe it's a couple of people to your pro version that are considered a member of your team. So you wouldn't be able to add like 8 people. I'd have to check on exactly how many it is, but I believe you can add 1 or 2 other people that can be under essentially like your team account, and they would be able to have editable or viewable access to that document under your pro version. Like I have access to add a couple of people. When I added or shared this with Kelly, it asked if I wanted to add her to my team. And I believe it was, don't quote me, but I believe it was 2 to 3 that you could add under there. But I'd have to go back and double check that for you if that answers your question.
So even though Kelly is say a free version user, if you had clicked that little tick box that said add as your team member, she would then be able to use sort of your pro privileges to work on this.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes. And if, let's say I shared with you for one particular project, you would be able to edit or help just on that particular project. If if I'm a pro and you just had the basic version, that would be the difference. But there are really a lot of free, things that, like I said, I started with the 2 years, the free version, and it gave me a lot of resources and things like that. Jen talked about you can design t-shirts. I haven't looked at that, but thought that was a new and fun use. Yeah, so there's lots of we can talk about the printing things that you can do as well. It's almost like, how does someone not discover that this is free on the internet? Because there's like lots of different things that you have access to. Joan shared, can you merge a document like a student's name in an Excel file into a form like an end of a year certificate? You know what? I don't know that. That would be a good question. I can look that up for you.
Yeah, if you go into the apps thing, and then scroll down a little from where it says more from Canva, there's a one that says bulk create.
Okay.
So you
Walk
can
me
upload a
through it,
CSV
Joel.
file.
So we went to apps. Now tell me again.
To where they'll add, it says bulk create. You can only read the bulk part, but further up. The fourth one over that's
Oh,
the
I see it.
non-cut. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So you can
Oh,
upload a
there you go.
CSV file with whatever data that you had, the names of the people, and then it would plug them into wherever you wanted on the forms. I haven't done that myself, but I know other people who have.
Oh, that's awesome. That is super cool. Wow. Instead of having to hand type all of those certificates and then, oh, I missed oh, you're a Zara with 3 A's. Oh, okay, yeah, we've all been there. So Joel, did you have a question too, or was that Jones that I was looking at? Oh, you had given the tip, which I thought was great. Okay. So, was that Whitney that said she just did a t-shirt? What kind of a t-shirt did you do, Whitney? Do you want to share your screen?
No, I just sent you an email with some projects that I did. And if you open my invitation for Cinco de Mayo, it was before I did the free trial. So if you use one of the pro things, you see how it has the watermark.
Oh, but it looks good.
So I'm like, whatever, it's the free version, but you can see like the X's through. I ended up getting the pro because I think I needed that better file that you said. What was it called?
The SVG.
Yeah, I needed it to be blank in the background to create our t-shirts. And I tried doing the t-shirts through Canva and they wanted the logo to be like centered in the bottom. So I ended up just ordering them through the place where Tina gets hers, and I can go find the website, but they're really cheap.
Yeah, and then that is convenient when you have the SVG, because if you need to send that file to anybody, pretty much anyone who you want to put your logo on something, the SVG file is the best file to send to them, because then they can manipulate that on different templates and different products and things like that. So that's awesome. Oh, I like the Cinco de Mayo. That looks nice.
Even though it was the free version, it was good.
So folks are saying, EO said she just made an invitation. EO, do you want to show us your invitation? Put you on the
Oh, I
spot.
would love to if I knew how. I don't know how to share it. I really don't. So, no, I'm talking to the here, Lisa.
No worries, no worries. Do you want to know how to share it? Or is that or have you done all that
Well,
you can?
I figured out how to share it to who I want to send, but yeah, I'm open to finding out how to share it with all of you.
So there's a couple of different ways. You could, are you still in Canva?
Yeah.
So any project that you want, you see where that share button is at the upper right-hand
Right.
corner? You could copy the link.
Oh, okay.
Well, you change permissions. So right now, only you can access, probably is what is checked. But anyone with the link could look at it, and you could
Got
copy
it.
you could send it to that person. You could put it into the chat. You could
Okay.
You know, however you want to share that with anyone. You could text it to someone if you were, you know, on your phone. However, you know, you choose to share that. You could also, like I said, add in the group members, with team members, which sounds like you already did. Oh, there it is. She put it in the chat for us. So let's look at it. Wonderful. Oh, that looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, super
Easy.
easy. It's fillable, lots of different products, lots of different versions of things, different colors. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
I'm glad that people are starting to use this. So a couple other things on this particular project that I wanted to go back and just show you. And then let's work on something a little more concrete together. But you can also change the palettes, the background colors. So let's say you're tired of the, you know, the particular color that you want. You could put in a background color. You know, a lot of this is just kind of playing around too. I do not claim to be, you know, creative or have an artistic eye. If you came to my apartment, you would say, wow, why are things so mismatched? I call it eclectic. And so you can choose to play around with the different color schemes and find one that works for you. The other thing is that you could also change the position of different pieces or components. So for example, you could select or choose, it will essentially break down. Remember, I was talking about each thing is a different box. It will essentially allow you to click on that particular box. It will highlight that for you. And then you can choose to do different things with that box. You could choose to copy it. You could choose to put a link into it. You could choose to lock that particular box so you know it doesn't change. This is the box, the telephone line that we were looking at earlier, but you could change that. And so that's another convenient tool of if instead of trying to click all these, you could pull up that on the left-hand side and look at all of the different components that are available for you that way. You can change the text for any of the things, just like you would in any word or anything. Again, the crown means that that's a pro, but you still have all of these ones up here that are, you know, the free version. You can choose the text size. You can choose to change the text color, bold, italic, underline, the same things that you would get, you know, in Word or in Publisher or anything like that. You can still do the alignment, you know, left, middle, sent to the right. You can do bullets. You could add an effect. So just like you would with the word art in Word, you know, it's kind of the newer version of that. You could also animate and have something animated. This would probably be best convenient or similar if you think about it in terms of a presentation, right? And so as I'm hovering over those, you're starting to see the high school completion is copying what that looks like. So you can kind of test that out because I've selected that field or that box. So let me go back one more. So you can do quite a bit. You could also add photos. So I just wanted to show you, you could search for different photos already that are essentially Google images that are available. Mine has populated, again, many images, and if they have that crown, it's the pro version, but there's also other ones that, you know, like this book one, this desk one, different ones that just like on Google wouldn't have the pro but are available. You could also upload your own image as well. Let me go back just one step here. And you can undo, you can go forward again. There's clearly, you know, quite a lot of different dimensions of things that you can do. You can upload different photos from your own. So actually, we're going to put this one in there just because we have it available. And this is Karen from Huron Valley. So Kelly, we got to get your picture in there as well. But I'm going to put Karen's down here. And so always a kind face when you come to Huron Valley that will greet you is Karen. And Karen will not appreciate probably being on the flyer, but she, I have her picture readily available. So let me get Kelly's. We'll put Kelly's on there too. So those are just things. Any questions about that or a flyer or things like that? It's very cool. I mean, it's a lot easier, I guess, for me to go in here and do this and think about opening a Word document and starting from scratch and like freaking out about, I need a flyer in like 5 minutes with this is what's happening. This is where we are. Like Whitney, the Cinco de Mayo thing that came together. We're doing this event now. I need to let people know. I need to get something out the door and I don't really have time to sit here and also I want it to be a little more creative than just black and white, you know. Oh, my text is a little bit larger at the top than the text at the bottom. Oh, I made it italic, you know. Ooh, that's, you know, not really, doesn't look that professional after a while. Any other thoughts, questions, comments?
Hey, Patrick, can I ask a quick question?
Oh, yes, Kim B from Comstock.
Sorry. So I realize that you make these little pages, but has anybody used it to create a larger document, or because of the editing that some things would require, like a handbook? Do people choose not to do little documents like this is the contact people, this is the attendance rules, that type of thing, because it would look really nice. So I'm just wondering if anybody has done that.
Has anyone done a larger document? Well, Kim,
We've done a lot of flyers, but no.
I have. So this very document that you came in with the links for this conference was done in Canva. So this is from yesterday. So this was a 6-page document with lots of text, maybe too much text, but I was able to do that in Canva and be able to do that. So I know it's not exactly what you're talking about in terms of like a handbook and the different sections like that, but I have done and I've done this. We did it last year for the Institute, I believe the year before too. So I've done it at least 3 or 4 times, a multiple page document like that. Does that help you at all or overwhelm you?
Patrick,
No, it's helpful.
Patrick.
And oh. I should have assumed that document came from Canva.
Trying.
I was just gonna say that when you have, this is Joy from Royal Oak, when you have a big block of text like you would have in a handbook, it isn't too hard because like a large block is all in one editing place, if that makes sense. And do you know, does anybody know, that would be a lot more helpful. I've done big documents like that in Publisher, and they have this little like cup at the bottom of the text box where you can overflow it into a new text box. Does this have anything like that?
It does. Now you're testing my knowledge because it does have that. So let me remember. I don't remember off the top of my head how that goes, Joy. But yes, essentially you can overflow that, and I just need to remember. Let me think on that, of where that is, because I know what you're talking about. And I will try to remember where is that at? Because I had that happen several times with the with these different pieces. So
Another cool feature, and it's not available for all the different designs, but if Patrick, if you go up to the file menu, under the view settings, sometimes, and I don't know, it depends on the kind you have, the kind of thing you're working on, but there's something that's called the Canva Assistant, and it will like look through the entire document and see if you've got any places where the text is like the wrong size slightly or the wrong font, or, you know, all those, check those kinds of things. So
let's see if it will. We won't go to you. We'll go to this one. See if it works on this one. Oops, no. So you could also import a file. And so maybe that's also another way that you could import an existing document if you had Word, probably not a PDF, but if you had it in an existing file format, that's like a Word or something like that. And yeah, I don't think that Canva assists on that one, but yeah, I've seen that, what you're talking about, Joel. I just haven't used it readily like that. So thank you for sharing that. But I mean, you could do cards, you can do newsletters, you could do logos. I mean, this is you could do infographics. Let's just take a look at the infographics. I always just think too, like an end of the year report, you know, actually this infographic we made into our MACAE benefits infographic and just change. We obviously don't have the stoplight, but we changed a few things on there, but did something like that. I mean, there's just so many things in there that are already made up. So we have to be ADA compliant with graphics and pictures on our website. Does Canva provide for this? You know what? I don't know that, Nancy. I'm not sure if that does that or not. I wonder if when you click on a project, if it tells you that. I'd have to research that, or you'd have to kind of research that. That's a good question. I don't know that. Anne says, are there written instructions anywhere? Written instructions for like, kind of the basics, or kind of putting together a template, Anne, are you saying? Or all of the above?
I guess,
Yes.
is there any like self-guided or tutorials like that you can, you know, I guess that's what she's asking, because I was
Yeah,
wondering.
I
too.
guess I just was wondering, you know, for somebody brand new that doesn't know anything about it, you know, a place to start, instructions, how to use it, you know, that type of thing. There's not a spot on here that does that, is there?
Sure. I think so. In the learn here, so if you go like
Okay.
here, let me move my thing out of the way.
Yeah.
If you're logged in and you see this learn feature here,
Okay,
it will give you the top designs and kind of walk you through that. It will also give you a blog, you know, where people can put articles or resources. This design school has tutorials. So Canva for beginners, you could go through that kind of course and watch that. You could also look at design skills for students if you wanted them to do. So someone, and I'm trying to remember who it is, actually created this as they did their year end like student spotlight, but they made a class. It was a teacher. Who was that? I have to remember, but they made this as a class document for their students. And so like, you know how you put together something for the class, like a yearbook or whatever. They did it, they created the template, they sent out the link to all the students with their email. They put in, you know, this is your page number that you need to work on, and it is kind of awesome thing. So this is where you would go in, and you know, is that learn button, and you could go through
okay, thank you, yeah.
and
I'm
look
thinking
at.
this might be a good tool to use for students who need, in the Michigan Merit Curriculum, who need their visual arts credits.
Oh, potentially, yeah. Look at you being innovative, Anne.
I'm just trying to think of free things for class.
I think that worked. That's awesome.
That's a great idea.
All right. So Shelley was saying that, do you want to talk about what you did, Shelley? Or Stacey? Gosh, why do I do that? Because you two are buds.
Oh, yeah, yeah. She's a great friend. So yeah, I was just playing around looking at the options, and I wondered what would happen because I believe my district might have an account. I am not sure about that, so I don't know if that affects what happened, what I just got upgraded to. But so I was just kind of playing around to see what I had access to, and ended up in my account settings on Canva. Realized that when I logged in or set it up, whatever, I had selected personal because K-12 doesn't really fit adult education. But when I changed it back to educator and put in some information about my district, it says, woohoo, welcome to Canva for education. You've been verified as a teacher. You get access to all of Canva's pro features.
Oh, great.
So
And you didn't have to
go into
pay.
your settings and see if you're, I don't know if it's because my district has an account with Canva. There were several buildings in our district listed under sort of their schools when I went in and filled it out. But I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
Did you use your school email as well?
Yep, I used my school email to log in, my to create my account. But then like when it said, how will you be using Canva? And it said K-12, higher learning, and then other. Well, I'm like, oh, other. And then I realized should have probably selected K-12.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, that's great.
the other thing is, and this might not affect everybody, but like Mount Pleasant is often written MT period. And I didn't find my school listed under MT period Pleasant. But when I typed in MOUNT, then all of a sudden my school information came up. So that might make a difference if you have a St. Louis or Mount anything, something like that. Try it, abbreviated and full version.
That's great. All right, so before we leave, I would like to post a social media post from Canva. So if I can have, if you are able to, if you want to come on camera, we are going to take a picture. And if you would like to be on, come on. If you would like to not be on, you can certainly stay off camera. But I'm offering this just because I know some people don't appreciate when we take the mid-action shots and then so
I literally just took a bite with peanut butter, so.
give me your due diligence. And someone told me that you shouldn't say smile anymore, you should say money because people like money. And it's supposed to give you a bigger smile than smile or cheese. So, all right, here we go. We're going to take a picture and we're going to convert this before we leave into a social media post. So give us we'll start 3, 2, 1. Great, got it. Thank you everybody for that. All right, so here we go. We'll do a post. I'm going to do a Facebook post. So I clicked on the Facebook post. I'm going to upload that picture. It should be in my screenshots. Here we go. Look at those smiling faces. So I'm going to go back to my design. I'm going to, here's a we are hiring one, which would probably be a great template for, let's just do this template.
That's a different picture, isn't it?
A different picture that I just took.
Yeah.
No, you're there, right there. See yourself?
Oh, it looks like they're in different orders. Maybe.
It could be. It could be that on yours this is a different order. So I'm also going to somewhere quickly plug in the MACAE logo, which is here. We're gonna get rid of this, ungroup that, delete that. And we'll fix that in a second. Having fun creating new content with Canva. I don't really want it to be that large, so I'm going to make it a different size. And let's have the logo actually go over there. All right, I like it. So I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it to Facebook. I'm going to have it go to our MACAE. And I'm going to publish and we'll prepare it. So hopefully if you follow us on Facebook, you can go and see if it is there. And I can go and as well and share. Give me a second here. I'll link it. Still creating that content and preparing the design because it can't handle our smile power. That's what it is. So we'll come back to that. But I just really think that this is an easy tool. I know that it's hard to, come up with new and creative things and those. Let me just see. This is a little tongue in cheek, but let me just see if I can find that word. Little swish thing. What I'm talking about, because I don't know. It's been so long since I've done it, but it's like we've all seen it. So Stacy, yes, you could tag it. I did not, but you could also go right back into Facebook and edit it or tag them into Facebook as well. So you can do that as well. And our new image is there. So if you'll give me a second, I will show you what it looks like. Be helpful if I just had it pulled open. All right, here we go. Here's our Facebook page, and here is our design. And it was a video design too. So we having fun during our session at the Spring Institute. There you go. Within a matter of minutes or seconds. And we were able to create that content and to share that out. So you could even do spotlight, graduations are coming up. You could do different things during that. So just really take a look at this and really utilize the different resources and start small, start with the flyers and start with just the simple, small content and then click around and explore, during the summer and see different things that are available and really kind of just go from there and explore and see what happens. Our next newsletter, I've been doing it in Publisher and I'm going to move over to Canva because I'm tired of Publisher and the limited capabilities. So our next newsletter that comes out from MACAE, hopefully you'll see that. But I mean, you can do an Instagram story. You could post to your social media stories as well. So it really is kind of a tool for all. So something to start with. Think about whether you're a teacher, whether you're, are responsible for social media, whether you're the director and you're responsible for everything too. Just something to think about and to start utilizing in your spaces. And as always, you can reach out for help if you need anything. But any other comments, questions, concerns about anything?
Question, Patrick, and you may have mentioned this, but I was busy doing my invitation. I already sent it out. Real quick question. When I created an account for myself, it gave me the option to add others. Is that where I could add others for my my staff and we could all be working in the same account?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And then if you have a project that you are working on. So let's say your particular project that you're on, any of these things. So let's say I'm working on, this was the template that I showed you that we had converted to our MACAE membership benefits brochure type thing. That was a work in progress. This is not the finished one. Is you can click this share button and you can add in people's emails as well. So let's say you want to share it with, I don't know, if someone from your district has to, sign off, or someone in the district, like wants to contribute to it or add in their information, or you want to show them, hey, we'll be sending this out. Does this look okay? You can put their email in and then you can restrict their access. So let's just say, I don't know if you'll be in here, if it will come up, but for Kelly or Heather, you could invite her to the team, or you could choose to limit her as just can comment or can view, or she could edit it for that particular project. So you also have that capability as well to do that. All right. Well, I'll be looking for your Canva presentations very soon, and your Canva. If any of you present at the fall conference, maybe you'll do a Canva presentation. That's my goal, is to not do PowerPoint. I'm gonna do a Canva. Maybe at the next check-in, I'll do a Canva PowerPoint. And just really want to wish you well with creating your new content and projects. And we will see you very soon. All right. We're going on a break now. We will let you out a little early. Our next session's at 10:30. And then we'll have a lunchtime and then one more session after lunch. So thank you all so much. I hope that
Thank you. That was great.
Thanks, Patrick.
take care, everybody. Bye-bye.